Yo, what's up guys? So obviously we've been in season 1 chapter 2 for years now, and we all know that there isn't a huge emphasis on build fighting anymore, and everybody has focused up on box fighting. I know what it is, you know what it is. It's just fighting in close proximity from one box to another. That's all it is, but it's not the easiest thing to be good at. There's a lot to it, and there are so many people that are practicing how to box fight for hours and hours, watch all these videos, and they still feel like they haven't improved, or they've hit an early plateau and don't feel like they can get better than where they are. Either way, there are players that aren't satisfied with the results of their effort, and you might be one of them, and I know I used to be too. That being said, I'm gonna explain 2 of my biggest mistakes when it came to being a better box fighter, and I hope you guys are able to take something away from this video and apply it to your own box fighting experience. So just like the rest of you guys, I dedicated time to box fight with my competitive friends because I knew it was an important skill to improve on. I'm not sure if it's because I practiced with the same people every time, but whenever I would practice, it felt very passive. By passive, I mean like I was box fighting, playing and going through the motions, but I wasn't under the mindset of like analysis and improvement. It was just practicing, if that makes sense. Like for example, let's say in basketball, you want to get better at shooting. So you go to the gym and you're throwing up shots, from everywhere. Threes, free throws, middies, whatever. But you're not thinking about proper form, your footing, angles, and you aren't setting little personal goals like making a certain number of shots in a row and whatnot. That's what I mean by passive. Like you're just shooting and not consciously thinking about little things you can work on to improve. With box fighting, I would keep the basic things in mind like right hand peeking and angles, but that was about it. I didn't set goals for myself. I made lazy edits and I made it easy to get shot back at. And I didn't even care if I lost a round because I'd be like, nothing I could have done better there. But if I could go back in time to talk to my stupid self, I'd be like, yo, shut your mouth, are you stupid? What kind of edit was that? Why'd you stand in the open? Why aren't you moving around? Why are you ignoring your ability to improve? My point is, you should always ponder and think about improving, even while you're practicing. A good way of doing this, I found, is to constantly question yourself in a constructive way and figure out what will make you the best box fighter you can be. So how do you figure that out? In a way, it's kind of like in the NBA, there's a bunch of different players that know how to shoot, but you'll notice nobody has the same exact form. So the same way in Fortnite, you can know how to box fight, but have your own way to it. Try different things, force yourself to use different edits, switch up your playstyle, maybe throw in some mind tricks to throw off your opponent, and once you figured out what you excel at, that's when you can truly start practicing with a purpose, while making constant micro adjustments as you improve. My second biggest mistake was my perspective. I'm gonna start off by saying that I know how important box fighting is. Everyone does. I know it's how most fights are played out in real competitive games, and personally, I actually prefer to box fight when I'm in game. But I think box fighting, it's boring. Specifically just practicing box fighting, the boredom would get to me after like 10 rounds, and just like the first mistake, my 100% effort just wasn't there. Again, it might be because I practiced with the same people every time, but I know for a fact, if I versed different strangers through like a Discord server and actually look for different opponents and whatnot, I would still get bored. When I would practice, I would always try to end fights as quick as possible, and I didn't necessarily care if I won or lost, but obviously I'd prefer to win. That being said, my box fighting tactic at the time was to 50-50 people in the same box or trade damage every chance I could get. Looking back, this is a negative brain cell way of thinking. Practicing with a purpose led me to box fighting with more patience, and now I have a much better perspective when it comes to box fighting. Instead of preferring to win, the goal is to win, alright? And taking as little damage as you can in the process. I've always heard here and there that you want to take as little damage as you can in fights, and every time someone suggested that, I was like, duh, it's a no-brainer. But I wasn't putting that into practice in every situation because I'd get impatient. You should never look to trade damage or 50-50 unless you're a controller player, because that's not a 50-50 in your case, so take advantage of that if you can. I started focusing a lot more on right-hand peeks and making edits that gave me that advantage, as well as making other edits that made it harder to shoot back. I played out box fights so much smarter than I ever did, all because I changed my approach. My practice with the old perspective meant absolutely nothing, a waste of time. But with my new mindset, I find myself improving little by little in every round, and it makes my practice much more valuable knowing the gains are there, and they're growing. If you're plateauing, or you think you've gotten to the best you can be, trust me, you haven't, Alright, the skill ceiling in Fortnite is so damn high, there's always things to improve on. Boxfighting is only one of the many skills to work on, and it's not a bad idea to maybe work on something else and come back to boxfighting. There are so many good tutorials out there for literally everything, and I hope I'm doing you guys justice with this one. Let me know if you guys have any other video suggestions on what you'd like to see. Again, it really helps me out with video ideas and making sure it satisfies you guys. That's the goal at the end of the day. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.